He's always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me. He's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2". Have you seen his hands? They're like this. And you know what they say about men with small hands? You can't trust them. You can't trust them. You can't trust them.
I'm so embarrassed for you. You know, besides Lion Ted, there's perhaps no more shrunken figure in American politics than Little Marco Rubio. Hailed by the Beltway media as the next Obama, Rubio was once the shiny, bright future of the Republican Party, ticking all the boxes: young, diverse, inspirational, Florida. But once Orange Julius Caesar cut him down to size, along with every other Republican candidate in the 2016 primary, Little Marco fell in line and fell in love, supporting Trump after that Access Hollywood tape came out. And they stayed BFFs throughout his presidency, with Rubio tweeting daily Bible verses while defending stuff like the Trump administration ripping children from their parents and using force to clear out protesters. While he originally said that Trump bears responsibility for the January 6th insurrection, he soon came to his Trump-loving senses, calling the second impeachment trial stupid and the January 6th commission a partisan joke. Rubio hasn't forgotten his presidential ambitions, but he has to wait to see if his dear leader wants to run first. So for now, he's running for a third Senate term, where he's gotten the extremely coveted endorsement of his former tormentor, whom he gushingly thanked for his, quote, leadership on the major issues facing our nation. But now Rubio's facing his nightmare opponent, Democratic Congresswoman Val Demings, a black woman impeachment-managing, Harley-driving former police chief. Demings officially announced her candidacy today.
Grow up in the South, poor, black, and female, you have to have faith in progress and opportunity. My father was a janitor, and my mother was a maid. She said, Val, never grow tired. Unlike some in Washington, I never tire of standing up for what I believe is right, because no one is above the law. I'm running for the United States Senate because of two simple words: never tire.
And I'm joined now by Florida Democratic Congresswoman and U.S. Senate candidate Val Demings. Thank you for being here. And I remember the last time we spoke, I remember saying, when you figure out whether it's going to be for governor or for Senate, please come back. So I do appreciate you actually coming back. Let's talk about how you do this, though. I've worked on a couple elections in Florida. It's a very hard state to win. It's a very narrow state. Both the Senate race and the governor's race were super tight last time. How are you going to pull this off?
Well, Joy, let me say it is great to be back with you. And look, we are so excited about this race. Florida is my home state. It is where I was born and raised. I love the state of Florida, and I am not willing to give up on Florida. You know my story. I'm the daughter of a maid and a janitor, the youngest of 7 children, the first in my family to go to college. I worked 27 years at the Orlando Police Department, had the awesome honor of working my way up through the ranks to become Orlando's first woman chief of police. I know how to fight a tough fight, Joy. I know how to stand by people when they are having their worst moments. Apparently, Rubio has forgotten one of the most important things in a race. It's not about him. It is about the people that he is supposed to serve. When people needed him the most, especially over the last year when we went through some very tough times, Rubio voted against stimulus checks. He voted against help for small businesses or schools. He voted against helping our first responders, our teachers, our health care workers. I'm not afraid of a tough fight. Rubio is. And I am going to build the most unique coalition. I'm going to travel the state from the Panhandle down to the Keys, from Tallahassee to Miami, and talk to people about what's important for them. I am a unique candidate, right time. And I look forward to this race.
I got to know if you're taking the Harley, because, you know, the thing that the Republicans like to try to do, I think we have a picture of you on the Harley. There it is. The thing Republicans love to do with Democrats is to try to immediately stereotype every Democrat as, number one, a socialist. They go right for that. I don't think they really know what socialism is, but they go for that. It particularly works in a state like Florida, where people have described the pitch that's typically made, particularly to Florida Latinos, to Cuban Americans, as effing crazy, meaning the conspiracy theories, calling everyone a communist, trying to accuse Democrats of being communist, the QAnon stuff. That's all particularly lethal in Florida. And ironically, that kind of politics actually helped Trump a little bit. Not even a little bit, a lot, with Hispanic voters in Florida. How do you counter that stuff?
Well, I counter that, Joy, by just reminding the voters of who I am. You're absolutely right. I ride a 2003 Harley-Davidson motorcycle. I intend to be on that motorcycle quite a bit. But it's really about reminding people who I am. My record as a police chief. I was appointed chief when crime was at an all-time high in Orlando. By bringing the community together, working with the community, reorganizing the department, disbanding some dysfunctional units, standing up some more functional units, we were able to reduce violent crime by over 40%. The bottom line is everybody counts, but everybody is accountable. And just to hear what you just said, and I know that Rubio will try to do that and his enablers, it just shows us all that desperate people will do desperate things.
Yeah. And, you know, the other issue, and I experienced this in 2004, the first race I worked on, is it's a challenge to sometimes get the maximum, you know, sort of, you know, impact of the African-American vote in Florida. There are a lot of unregistered voters. It was similar in Georgia a long time ago, before Stacey Abrams went in and started to really register voters. How do you take advantage of the fact that you will have a natural appeal to particularly black women who are the, you know, carry a lot of the burden in terms of voter turnout? How do you maximize that turnout?
You know, Joy, I am already very excited about the response that I have had before the launch, but certainly after the launch. This race is about everybody. This race is about leaving nobody behind. This race is about not picking winners and losers based on their ability to pay to play like Rubio has done. As I said, we're going to build one of the most unique coalitions. And I know black women are already excited, but every woman will be excited about this candidacy. This is the first time in Florida history that an African-American woman, the daughter of a maid and a janitor, my dad used to go to work 7 days a week to make ends meet for our family, will be running for the U.S. Senate. This is exactly what about the American dream is all about, and I'm really excited about it.
You know, and that biography is going to be very difficult for Rubio to characterize in the way that Republicans typically want to do it. But what is going to be your primary case against him? Because he's sort of an entrenched figure right now. The media has fallen out of love with him because he sort of fell under Trump's boot. But what's the main case against why he shouldn't just stay in office?
Joy, I could take the next 40 minutes and talk about all of the reasons, but let me just go here. I was in the Capitol on January 6th. I was there to watch the peaceful transfer of power when we know all hell broke loose. What we thought was just people demonstrating turned out to be an angry mob. Found myself crawling around on the floor donning a gas mask. Now, we have an obligation to find out what happened, who was involved, how that happened, who funded it. You know that the chairman of Homeland Security, Benny Thompson, in the House, and the ranking member, Representative Katko, have been negotiated for months to come up with an independent commission to investigate. Who would not want that? But Marco Rubio voted against it because he obviously does not want to know the truth. We know that wherever the political winds are, that's where you will find Marco Rubio. And so this is about protecting our democracy, Joy. Everything that we care about and everything that we say that defines who we really are as a nation is caught up in what happened on January 6th. So if there are those that are listening who believe in this campaign and would like to take this journey with me, I just ask you to visit my website, valdemings.com, and let's get this done. We can do better.
And last very quick question, Don McGahn, we finally have his testimony. What do you make of the fact that it's taken this many years to find out stuff? I mean, it's not surprising what he said, but that he was pressured to try to push out the special counsel.
You know, Joy, as someone who served on the Intel Committee and certainly on Homeland Security, it comes as absolutely no surprise. I think the shame of it all is that it took this long to get down to the truth. We knew back then, we now all know that he was pressured, and that pressure could have resulted in criminal charges for him and the president. But we need to continue to get to the bottom of it. We need to know the truth and hold those who violated the law accountable. Everybody counts, but everybody's accountable.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I want to thank you again for coming on this program to talk about your run out of the gate. Congresswoman, for now, Val Demings, we'll see where you go from here. Best of luck. Thank you very much.